Okay, this next video was a few interviews with people as I walked around tonight. Please be warned that I have not edited this and it may not be appropriate for all audiences. There are some cuss words in there, so viewer discretion advised. Some cussing in there, and yeah, but this is the real footage, and I am not going to edit out any of that for my channel for this video, but giving you that warning. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's late. 3:47 our time here, so I'm working on all last two brain cells that are still functioning. All right, and we are on. So where'd you guys come from?
Texas, the Texas Panhandle.
Yep, Amarillo.
How many miles would you guess that is?
Not a fucking clue.
I think when we started, the GPS was saying it was over 1,200.
1,200.
Yeah, but then we traveled back through, down, and everything else.
Yeah.
So we've probably traveled roughly around at least 2,000 miles.
Pretty close. Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah, between up and down.
Up and down and stuff like that.
Wow.
You know.
What would you say? What would you say is the reason that you guys joined the convoy?
Freedom.
My kids, their future.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just theirs, but it's ours, theirs, our grandkids. This government is just out of control.
Yep. And we can't leave this mess for them to pick up.
It is every
We have to do it.
generation's duty to actually fight for their freedom, you know, and the next generations. And it is their duty to pick up for their next generation.
Yep.
You know?
Fantastic. How are you guys going to go all the way to DC?
Yes, sir.
We're going to be spending all next week in DC with them.
Yep.
All next week, and then you go home to Texas.
Yeah. Well, I have.
Got to get home to the kids.
No, I mean, I went.
So you left
went
your kids
to-
home. Wow.
Yeah, we left them with family.
Well, we
Wow.
left Amarillo, went past Oklahoma City, and then it was like, well, we have to go back. And
Wow.
then we went back, and God made a way, and I dropped my kids off, and here we are.
Thank you for your sacrifice. That's intense.
It's hard. I'm a stay-at-home mom who homeschools, so I'm never away from them. So this has been really, really tough.
Yeah, but we
Right.
all have to stand up for our fellow countrymen and
Yep.
women.
Thank you very much. Do you want to say anything to the folks at home?
God bless you, and fight for your freedom.
Yep, stand up locally. It starts at home, and try to leave the kids a better future.
Any shout outs? I know you had a Patriot
Yes,
shout
we
out.
have the Patriots Coterie Alliance. You can find us on Facebook, and from there it has the links for all the other groups.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you in DC.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Where are you from?
Colorado.
From Colorado.
Yep.
How far of a drive is that to here, roughly?
8 days,
8 days.
as a convoy goes.
Good answer. So, what size your shoe?
Yeah, big. I don't buy shoes, I buy the boxes.
I only asked that because she told me this shoe before I got the camera rolling, and I found out she was. Never mind. So how long have you been with the convoy? 8 days.
Since Glen Rio, New
Okay.
Mexico.
So, roughly how many days?
8 days.
8 days. Okay. Are you going all the way to DC?
Yeah, I'm gonna park it on the White House lawn if I can figure out how to do it.
Fantastic. What if you had to if you were to describe what the convoy is about? What would you say the convoy? What is the point of the convoy?
Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom. It's the Great Awakening. It's time for America to take America back. We don't want New World Order. We don't want mandates. We don't want overreach. We don't want tyranny. It's time that we open our eyes and see what's been taken away from us. And if we have to do it for our children, we have to do it for the future.
Yes,
You know,
ma'am.
It's that time. This is our 9/11.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions?
Well, I'm thinking here.
No, don't want to test you too much.
Well, you know, I'm just a beginner YouTuber.
No, you're good. You're good.
If you wanted to give a shout out to somebody at home, what do you want to say to them?
I'll tell my kids, you know what, I haven't smiled so much. I've been depressed for the last couple of years because of all this overreaching government, you know, making our life hell. And there's no reason for it. Now that the truth is out and the light is shown, has awakened and exposed everything that's been going on. You know, my heart is light. I see other people that are now have the courage to stand up because they're not standing alone. And so you have to stand up for what you believe in or die 1,000 deaths. You know, it's worth it. It's worth it. Our country's worth it. Our freedom is worth it.
Yes, ma'am. What was your reaction to the turnout of people on the overpasses?
Oh my gosh, I cried.
Me too.
Especially you see the children and they're starting to understand what's going on and what's so dear to us as Americans, that people in other worlds, you know, we're the only country that people just die trying to get here for our freedoms. And now they're crying when they see that our country is going to turn the same way where they're escaping from. You know, they're not happy about what's going on. Even if they're from, you know, South America, if they're coming across the border and dying and children laying and dead in trails and stuff like that, they're coming here for freedom, and yet our freedom's being taken away from it. They don't want that. That's not what they risk their lives for. It's just not right. It's not right.
So I came from Idaho, and I have a lot of Idaho pride. You know, I think Idaho's the greatest state until I started coming on this convoy, and then I realized that U.S. is united and that they're all great states. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And I also believe in the Convention of States. I think that federal government has grown too big and too mean and too ugly and too overreaching that they feel like they need to control everything. It's not in the power. It's in the unity. It's in the getting together. It's using your best resources state by state, working together for the greater good. Not somebody sitting up in Washington, D.C. saying, I know what's best for all your states, and I'm going to tell you what to do.
If you had a message for President Biden, Biden, let's just say that, what would you say to him? If he was listening right now. And I'm clean, please.
I know. Career politicians, they are so unnecessary. We have to get the money out of this politics. Mr. Biden, really, I think you've done a halfway job of something that maybe at one time you might have thought strongly about, but just blowing in the wind and changing your mind from one day to the next and letting other people control the direction you're going in, that's not being a good politician. It's not. It's not doing what's best for the people. And that's the reason why you were ever voted into any kind of office to begin with, was to do what was right for your people. And to be that voice and the center pivot point. But that pivot, it's gone away. You know, you're stuck in the just anything to get the next vote. That's not a politician anymore. That's a dictator.
Well, ma'am, thank you. This was a good interview. Appreciate it. Okay, we are rolling. Let's roll the fake news here. Okay, where are you guys from?
North Carolina.
Hagerstown, Maryland. Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Okay, and so for a guy from out west in Idaho, how far are those states from here?
Well, my state's 6 hours away, but I started in California, so that's a longer story.
I'm only 15 minutes away from here.
How long?
15.
15 minutes?
Yeah, 22 minutes.
22 minutes. Fantastic. Are any of you going to go to DC with the convoy?
I don't know that I'm going into DC. I'm just watching what happens. I'm actually medium. So I'm pressed.
To be decided.
Same.
Same. Okay. What would you guys say what would you say defines this convoy in your own words? What would you say this convoy stands for?
The people.
Unity. Standing up for your rights. Standing together.
Stands for the Constitution of the United States of America.
Fantastic. What are you guys doing here? Like, I see you're giving out baggies.
Well, we started a little group called Little People with Big Hearts. And gathered donations. We knew everybody was coming in and wanted to help support.
I'll take the donation.
Can we actually say that one more time? The truck was passing and didn't really get that.
So we formed a little group, Little Guys with Big Hearts, and started gathering donations because we completely believe in everything that is going on, and we wanted to support the truckers. We wanted to come out and support, and
We want to help anyway, but absolutely.
and we have at least 200-300 bags of just goodies and stuff to give to everybody, and we've been handing them out.
Well, thank you very much. How many do you think you gave out tonight?
Well, we still have a whole van load.
And then we're coming back tomorrow with another van load and pizzas. We got pizzas.
Pizzas.
there,
Oh,
too.
ooh, this is where I'm going to be tomorrow night.
Right?
We have them now. If you want to buy pizza.
Oh, well, when the video's over. If do you want to give a shout out to anybody?
At Healing Law, he's been crushing covering this whole event. That's me.
Hey, no, shameless plug, man. Give it again.
At Healing Law TikTok or at healinglaw.com and the Golden Renaissance Productions on YouTube.
Fantastic.
Shout out to the truckers, all the truckers that are coming in, because I know there's more, and to the people that helped donate with the little hearts, what we got? Little people, big hearts. Everybody that donated.
Absolutely. Everybody that donated to our little tiny group that formed in, 3 days?
Yeah.
Because we've worked really hard just to do like a little bit of stuff, but it's kind of huge to us.
And we're not done yet.
Yeah, we're not done
So
yet.
tell me about that. Little People, Big Hearts. You guys formed that organization, and there's a lot of people behind you that have donated to the
There's
cause.
been a good bit of people that have donated to us in a very short amount of time.
Would you say that's local people, word of mouth, or?
It's local. Local. Even though, so we're getting told that these truckers and these convoys are not welcome here in Hagerstown for some reason. But that's not true.
No,
we've heard that out of several people's mouths. Totally not true.
You gotta ignore the trolls.
So,
There's a lot of trolling.
yeah.
So you guys are local then. What would you say, have you asked people what their opinions are of the convoy? What would you say the average 1 out of 10 people, how many support the convoy that you've talked to?
That we know, 9. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. And how many would you say locally support the convoy?
There's a lot of support, but people are afraid
Okay.
to support. And that's what the issue is. They're afraid that anything they do will come back and harm them, especially after the Canadian ordeal.
What would you say happened in Canada that made them afraid?
Having their bank accounts frozen, thrown in
Yeah.
jail for freedom of speech, like,
The Emergency Act.
yeah, emergency act, yeah.
That was it.
You guys feel afraid?
No. I'm not afraid.
No.
Because I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
You feel afraid?
I've eaten out trash cans. What is there to fear? Yes.
Well, you're braver than I am. I have firefighting, wildland firefighting in my background, and I'm afraid. So
We're nurses, so nurses are brave.
there you go,
No, dude,
brave
you
nurses.
gotta- It's all about what you do with yourself now. You don't join. I don't. That's why I'm pressed. I'm not part of this, but I'm watching. You know, I'm here to tell the truth. So,
Absolutely. That's
what I
that's
see.
key. Truth. Truth. What's really going on.
Fantastic. Well, guys, thank you very much for the interview, all of you.
Of course,
And
thank you.
Thank you.
What's your channel?
Something that you was feeling like I do. We said all there is to say.
So if we decide our job's over, we don't have to work.
We are live. So, where are you from?
Massachusetts,
Massachusetts.
but I have Texas plates.
How many miles do you think that is?
Probably 800 or no, about 600.
About 600 miles?
Yeah, something like that.
Do you plan to go? I'm getting a little closer because the fireworks might go off. Do you plan to go all the way to DC?
I am going to DC.
Fantastic. What would you say if someone was to ask you? Well, I'm asking you. What is the convoy about? What would you say?
It's about freedom. It's about our rights. It's about infringing upon us. The government is putting too much of their hand into our lives. You can't be doing that. We need to have our own choices. You can't make people take a shot if they don't want it, especially if you're religious and you have reasons not to have it. And what about natural immunity? Where did natural immunity go? I had COVID in the beginning, and I haven't been sick since.
How did you deal with COVID?
It was tough on me. My lungs, I have asthma, I have bronchitis. It messed up my lungs for a long time, but I dealt with it, and I'd rather have it naturally than the shot or the stab, they say. So,
if you had one thing you'd want to say, if the president was listening, what would you say?
All you had to do is sit on your ass and do nothing, and you would have been loved by everybody, because Trump had it all for you. Everything was already there. All you had to do is sit down and do nothing. How about that?
There you go.
And you would have been amazing. You would have got second. Well, Pamela, well, whatever her name is, Kamala or whatever, she would have been president because, you know, he's out. He's going out the door because he's having some issues. I don't know. We all know he has issues. He can't even walk upstairs and talk right. I'm not talking right because I had a few.
Yeah, well,
Fair
this is like a big celebration. So
It is.
Yeah, I have not seen so much patriotism in my entire life.
There's a lot of trucks out there.
There's a lot more than trucks out there too.
And cars and people and campers and everything. This is the people's freedom.
Yes. Is there anybody at home that you want to give a shout out to?
My son, Bryce Brigham, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, all right. Thank you much, sir.
Ciao.